It's 7 o'clock, and this is the Greenway Advisory Committee meeting for March 19th, 2012. We have a proper quorum. We'll move right into old business. Brookside Greenway. Turn it over to Jeff.
We've made some, well, as you know, the Greenway was completed in December of last year. We've made some improvements to the property. We will put a bollard at the Stones Ridge entrance to keep vehicular traffic from turning right into there because there was nothing to stop anybody from driving their vehicle down there. We had a sign that says no motorized vehicles, but it was basically ineffective. So we put the bollard up. We put 2 signs up at both entrances with park rules, emergency contact, non-emergency contact information on there. I put one of those pet attending stations out there, the thing for your dogs. If your dog has an accident, you pick it up and clean it up and take care of it. And we're getting ready to start mowing out there, so we'll be out. Our presence out there will be a little bit more than what it has been through the winter months. But it's a beautiful property. With the green, the grass is coming in, and it's just things are starting to bloom out there. It really is. I'm very, very pleased with it.
Jeff, what would I'm just informed by Mr. Dodd that there was actually some people driving on that. So definitely be a good idea if any of the residents see that, please inform the police right away.
Sure.
Again, we want to keep that as good shape as possible.
That bollard should preclude most people from driving down through there. I mean, if somebody wanted to, they could drive across the grass and get to it, or they probably could finagle a vehicle through that area at the top on Blakemore. But it does. Our intent, and I can't give a timeline, to fence off that parking lot area up there, just to help delineate our property from the residential property and to help the flow of traffic to be, so we don't infringe on the rights of the citizens there with people walking across their front yards to get to the Greenway.
Yeah, it occurred in the last week.
Really?
Anything else from this board on old business, Brookside Greenway? All right, we'll move on to new business. A little bit of new development. Hurricane Creek Greenway Phase 2. Jeff, I'll defer to you again.
Our original submission to the state, a couple of red flags were kicked up because in our description we said that we were looking at 3,000, or the original master plan called for 3,000 linear feet of greenway, when in fact we're looking at closer to 7,000 linear feet of greenway. So when our description went up against the dollar cost for the project, there was some disparity. So they asked us to revisit that, resubmit with that correction, and also talk a little bit more about the trailheads that we anticipate along the way, embellishments along the route, enhancements and things of that nature. It's still on track to start vicinity of the library over here and go along East near Shreveman down to the roundabout. So what we're at right now is we're waiting for a notice to proceed based on that new description that we submitted. Then we'll be looking at preliminary engineering right away and environmental. And again, if I had to best guess, I'd say 18 to 24 months down the road we'll be looking at construction, and I wouldn't dare try to give a completion date. But I think that's a reasonable estimate at this time of where we are in the process.
As we said several times, this is one of our oldest grants that we have. I want to say 1999 is when we applied, and then we came into the additional monies. I believe it was going to be moved from the Stones River sidewalks, but again, I think it's important now that we do move on, and we have $1.4 million. Basically, it's 80-20. So yes, there is a matching grant of $384,000 for the city, but again, there's $1 million sitting on the table that I think we could really do some good work with here in the city. So, anything? Okay, we're going to move on to our sidewalk projects. There again were a few changes. First one with the Fergus Road sidewalk project.
Okay, well, Fergus Road sidewalk, we went to Weiser. They placed the bid for construction. Through a technicality, the state has a pre-approved list of contractors that can do the work. Sessions Paving was on that list, listed as Sessions Paving LLC, the paperwork they submitted in their bid said Sessions Paving INC, and the state determined that that was, that they were disqualified for that because of that. So we went with the second lowest bid, which was civil engineering. Bottom line, we probably lost 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks of project time, but the project was not scheduled to start until after Memorial Day anyway. It's a summer project. So we're still, I'm optimistic that we'll still finish in the September timeframe. Maybe not early September as initially anticipated, but I'm still optimistic that we'll have a September completion date for that.
Questions, comments on that? All right. Again, we'll move on to Cheney Road sidewalk project.
Okay, again, that's another one. We're right on course for that, scheduled to start after Memorial Day. Probably going to start at the high school side and work our way back to Old Nashville Highway. The sidewalk will cross right there at the entrance to the high school and go along, I guess that would be the western side of Cheney, back to the termination point, which would be right there at the intersection of Cheney and Old Nashville Highway. The state asked for a defined terminus for that, and they recommended a bus stop or something along those lines. So we'll have a little built-up area there with a bench and possibly a canopy. We'll see what kind of money we have left over. So that's where that project will start and finish. And again, same timeline as Fergus Road, Memorial Day to sometime in September.
Any comments? All right. Move on to our third sidewalk project, which is the Safe Routes to School. Again, we'll defer to you, Jeff.
Okay. This is a pretty significant one because it's tying in different pieces of sidewalk that are located throughout the city and tying it in so that we can physically walk from the primary school in Roy Waldron to Lake and the middle school. So it's a nice tie-in, and it will lend itself when the other Greenway comes into play. It'll all tie in nicely together. And just like the other ones that's slated to start after the Memorial Day with a target completion date of as soon as end of August, I believe, has to be completed by September the 12th, or we have to file for an extension. Again, that's only, if memory serves me, I think we're talking about 1,200 linear feet. It's not a sizable project. There's no right-of-way. There's no environmental to speak of. It should be pretty much award the contract and just a straight run.
That's 100% grant, which like to see those.
Less some upfront costs that
Right.
we incur.
The good news is, again, you have 3 projects going, and these have been projects that have been out there for quite some time that we are now moving on. So 3 projects started in roughly May and completing somewhere around beginning of September, into September, again, just in time for schools. A lot of calls, especially in the area where you're talking about the safe routes to schools. There are areas where there are sidewalks, and then from there the kids walk in the road. So again, this will stop that. And again, all 3 of these are designed for everyone's safety, but again, especially the kids' safety. But again, we are moving forward with this. But anything here? All right. Well, guys, that's what we have going right now. A little progress, but progress just the same. Next meeting is May 21st, 2012. I got 6 on the paper. It's my mistake. It's 7. I apologize for that, but I guess we'll start. Any comments? Nothing at all. Okay. Well, guys, I appreciate you all, and we'll keep you updated. After that, we'll adjourn.